Then your light will break out like the dawn. Your recovery will speedily spring forth. Your righteousness will go before you. The glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. Then you will call, and the Lord will answer. You will cry, and he will say, "Here I am." I have a plan. Free the oppressed. Divide your bread with the hungry. House the homeless. Clothe the naked. There are a lot of people in this audience who maybe need food, who need shelter, who need clothing, and they're hurting. There are also a lot of people in our audience who have an extra suit, more food than they need, extra shelter, something that they can provide to those people. So why don't we put them all together?
The broiler program consists of providing 100 chickens to families. They are in charge of taking care of these chickens until they reach 45 days of age. When families have finished selling their broilers, they can afford to cover their needs. They can also continue on their own, and by reinvesting, they can make their business sustainable. The chicken program prevents hunger in families in Peru. With your support, we can provide the means for meat production and increase the incomes of struggling families who just want to make ends meet.
What's unique about our disaster relief program here in the Philippines is we reach those who are unreached. Because there are many remote islands in the Philippines that are also hit by disasters. Our team goes to extra lengths. They ride boats and sometimes getting stranded in the middle of the sea, in the middle of a typhoon, just to bring relief goods to those who are affected by disasters. We bring food and other relief goods like solar lights and things that people will need to survive an immediate disaster.
The ultrasound program is amazing. The program consists of performing free ultrasound scans in coordination with health professionals. This program is a total blessing for the mothers who cannot access to this kind of service. So the objective of this program is that mothers can have a healthy pregnancy.
I think we all understand the vital importance of providing clean water to people who don't have it. But today, I want to talk about something that's a little less picturesque. These people, they don't have bathrooms. They don't have hand washing stations. They don't have soap, and they don't have showers. This creates a big spread of diseases and sicknesses. So that's why all around the world, our projects that we are implementing, they are also providing bathrooms, hand washing stations, and showers. And this is truly changing generations. We are not only limiting diseases and sickness in these communities, but we are also helping the parents provide better for their families by missing less work days from being sick. So thank you for not only providing clean water to these beneficiaries, but thank you for also providing sanitation and hygiene.
When Operation Blessing goes into an area after a disaster, we're committed to bring in hope, optimism, and support for those in need. We'll come in, Operation Blessing will help clear out their home that may have been flooded, remove debris from their yard, put a tarp on their home. We even have supplies to give them if their power is out and they have no food or water. We can provide that to them to get them started back on the path of recovery. They really do get a sense that better days are ahead, and Operation Blessing plays a really critical role in that.
The people will share their needs, and they'll share their willingness to meet other people's needs. And you talk about people caring for people. Well, this is the Lord leading his people to have care for his people. What a beautiful thing. Lord God, help us to deliver the needy.
Beautiful. Well, joining us now is Drew Friedrich, the Chief Operating Officer for Operation Blessing. Drew, thanks for being here today.
Great to be with you guys. It's awesome to be here. Thanks so much.
And that was a special, beautiful video, and I'm sure it's special to you. And boy, has Operation Blessing come a long way in 40 years since Pat's original vision for it.
It really has. You know, it's awesome to hear his voice and the passion he has in 1978, and to know that we're still carrying on that mission even today. And so I think the biggest thing that I really pull out of that video is Pat began this whole thing with seeing a need and meeting a need. And though we're now in 33 countries and we've grown tremendously in terms of our size, we're still seeing needs and meeting needs every single day. And so it's just great to be a part of it. I'm honored to be a part of helping lead this organization at this stage of the game.
Well, you're doing a great job. I know you first of all started out at Orphans Promise, and then you came over to Operation Blessing. Talk a little bit about your role at OB.
Yeah, you know, this place is home for me. I've grown up around CBN. Orphans Promise was an honor to help lead that team. But when I was called to lead Operation Blessing, I just felt like this is an opportunity that we have as OB to really be the hands and feet of Jesus to people who may never turn on the 700 Club. And that's what I love about Operation Blessing is we have a chance to take the gospel to people by meeting tangible needs, opening the doors for the gospel to rush forth. And so, you know, my job looks different every single day. That's what I love about it. I'm helping to set the culture, set the strategy, dealing with fundraising, all these various pieces of the organization. But we've got a tremendous team. God's hand is certainly on the organization. And so, like I said, I'm honored to be a part of it and to carry on what Pat started in '78, even now in 2023.
Yeah, I remember as a reporter for the 700 Club, there were quite a few occasions I went and covered what OB was doing in the field after hurricanes, tornadoes, disaster relief of different kinds, and to see the families and individuals touched by the Spirit of God was wonderful. A lot of great organizations out there, humanitarian organizations. What's unique about Operation Blessing? What makes it different?
Sure. I think, you know, there are a lot of different organizations providing relief. I think there's a couple things for us. One, being a part of CBN really sets us apart. We've got a chance to tell our story and tell this story to encourage and inspire people that most nonprofits don't have. It's just a blessing for us. On top of that, when we go meet these needs, one of the things we really try and do is work through the local church. And so not only are we meeting needs in the immediate when a disaster hits, let's just say, or someone's hungry, we're connecting them with the local church so that after we're gone and we've pulled out and the disaster's sort of been dealt with, they have an opportunity to continue their relationship with the Lord, continue being, you know, fed, or we continue to deliver food to the local church. And so I think that's what sets us up is we're more of a long-term solution than we are just sort of an immediate hit.
That's awesome. I love that fact that you're partnering with churches to follow up, because so many times you hear of people coming in and they're gone and the people are just, but
and sometimes the church want to help people and they don't have the resources.
Exactly.
Yeah, oftentimes for us, you know, churches, they don't have a disaster relief arm, and people want to help, but they don't even know how to get involved. And so we feel like we're sort of that conduit. If you want to volunteer with us, if you want to donate to us, you want to pray for us, you want to host our team when the disaster hits your area, we can partner together and make a difference in your community where you're already serving. You already love those people. We try and help you love those people in a better way.
Powerful. Well, we know that over this past year, we've seen Operation Blessing responding in disaster relief scenarios such as the war in Ukraine, that earthquake in Turkey. Share some of the highlights of what Operation Blessing has done during this time.
Sure. You know, it's just devastating to see what's happened to the people of Ukraine. And regardless of where you stand politically, that war has been bloody and long and hopeless at times. And yet I feel like we're able to deliver hope in the midst of all that. It's actually interesting because I started, when the war began, I was actually still at Orphans Promise. And now I'm at Operation Blessing. And that's been an opportunity for Operation Blessing and Orphans Promise to really partner together. You know, Orphans Promise has a huge footprint in Ukraine. And so we've opened a brand new office in Poland. And out of that office, we've delivered more than 150 truckloads of relief supplies into Ukraine. We've delivered stoves and fuel and relief supplies, hygiene supplies, all kinds of food. And now Orphans Promise has opened up a training center in Poland where we're partnering with them to help those who've left Ukraine and have settled in Poland. And so I think, again, you ask what makes us different, that's part of it. There's so many different ministry arms of CBN, and when we lock arms, we're certainly stronger together. And so we've seen that firsthand in Poland and Ukraine. And then just most recently, these devastating earthquakes in Turkey. We've been on the ground literally since day one. And so, you know, we've distributed 60,000 hot meals to various people who've been displaced. We've handed out more than 25,000 boxes of food. And I think the biggest key is that we're there and we're not a short-term mission. We've been there when this first happened. I spoke with Gordon Robertson. He said, I want to be there no less than 6 months. You know, we want to invest in Turkey as they begin to rebuild. They're going through a very chaotic election season right now, and we're still there serving. We're going to be there serving. And one of the things we've been able to do is set up 7 micro enterprise businesses for people who'd lost their businesses before, was just crushed by the earthquake. And here we are helping them get back on their feet, reestablish income for their families, drive the economy in that community. And so we feel like we want to leave Turkey far better than we found it. And God's given us the chance to do that.
Yeah, that's a unique relief ministry arm. You're also partnering with other organizations, Tim Tebow Foundation in the Philippines. What was going on with that?
Yeah, I was just in the Philippines in January, and it was a really exciting time because we got to visit the Tim Tebow Cure Hospital in Davao. And it's an incredible children's hospital that does all kinds of surgeries. And one of the things that they were looking for was a partner to do their club foot surgeries. And I just felt like God was telling us when we were there, this is something we need to be involved in. And so it's really wild. We left the Tebow Hospital and had talked with their director about a partnership. The next day I met a 17-year-old girl named Glyza who'd been living with double club foot her entire life, walking on club feet, you can imagine, this whole time. And so it was like the Lord was saying to me, this is why you need to be involved here. And so just recently we signed an agreement. We're going to sponsor all the club foot surgeries with the Tebow Cure Hospital in Davao for the year, which will be about 150 cases. And it takes a while, as you can imagine, for a club foot surgery to actually, for the surgery to take place and then the rehab. But we're going to walk through that entire process with them. The great thing about Tebow is they're also a gospel-minded organization. So not only are we providing and meeting a physical need, but they're providing the spiritual support as well. And so these families' entire lives are transformed. And so that kind of thing is really huge for us. We certainly want to go help, but we can't do it alone. There's so many needs around the world. Finding great partners who have a similar vision to us, similar mindset, and who love the Lord and want to share that gospel message is really critical in our efforts. So,
wow, with so much happening in the world, I mean, natural disasters and all kinds of war and everything, what would you say is the main focus of Operation Blessing right now?
Well, you know, we have 4 pillars: clean water, medical relief, disaster relief, and hunger relief. And so we know, if you've read the book, which we have, the world is groaning, right? The disasters seem to be happening more and more frequently. There is a greater need now than ever, perhaps, for hunger relief. You saw in the video that we showed coming in, some of this medical care in some of these really remote communities is just non-existent. And so when we take our medical efforts and outreaches to the field, we're helping 1,000 people a week in some cases receive doctor visits, medicine, even small surgeries that they might never have access to otherwise. And so it's hard for me to pinpoint one because they're all so incredible. And that's why I love that video too, is those are just snapshots. Those are 3 out of thousands of projects that we're doing around the world. And when we go into community, we go to the difficult places. We're going to you saw that gal hiking through the mountains in Costa Rica. We're going to those villages that are really incredibly remote. I saw an island we're serving the other day. There's nothing around it. We had to take a 45-minute boat ride just to get to it. It would fit in this studio. There's 8 houses on this island. There's nothing there. But that's where we go because those people need help like anyone else. And so I think just the fact that we have the opportunity to take medical and hunger and clean water and disaster relief, you know, supplies and resources to these communities makes all the difference in the world.
Joe, I'm curious, you lead an organization, you lead people, you make administrative decisions, you've traveled, but what is this doing to your heart? Like, is it changing you? Is it making you tougher, stronger, more sensitive?
I think more sensitive is really the key. It's funny, we were actually talking at church last night about this. How do you experience God the most, or when do you most enjoy following the Lord? And I've found when I'm in the field, or when I'm seeing a need and meeting a need, which is exactly what we do every single day, that's when I really feel that relationship with the Lord sort of light on fire, if you will. And so I think being here and certainly making the day-to-day business decisions is part of it, because we want to run it with excellence, with efficiency, with integrity. But when we see the kind of impact we're making, we'll see stories later in the show about life-changing surgeries that we've done or homes that we've restored. You can't help but have your heart break for those people, but we're not hopeless. We've got the gospel and we've got the resources to come and meet those needs. And so we know when we walk into a situation, we don't have to leave it that way. We come with the good news and the resources to help. And I think that's where it's made me maybe more sensitive, but also more hopeful of the fact that we can make a difference.
The hands and feet of Jesus. What do you see as the future for Operation Blessing?
Well, as I mentioned, I think around the country and around the world, we see disasters happening much more frequently. And so when a disaster happens, there's probably never a time where people are more hungry for hope. And I think we're looking at ways all around the world, how can we position ourselves in such a way that when a disaster happens, like an earthquake in Turkey, how can we have a team that's ready to go in various places? You saw John Tan, one of our leaders from the Philippines, in that video. They lead an incredible team in the Philippines that responds to typhoons and just incredible disasters. If we can position ourselves around the world, there should be no part of the world that we can't reach when the need comes up. And I believe, again, when we come into these communities, we're bringing a message of hope. That is what separates us. That's the difference maker for these people is they're getting a bag of food, they're getting clean water, and they're hearing us pray for them. They're hearing us share Superbook with their children in the process. And so I believe a more unified approach with Orphans Promise and Superbook and even helping the home front here at home, we have the strength at CBN and Operation Blessing to really and truly impact the world. And I'm hoping there's more of that in the future for us.
Drew, last question real quick. What's the easiest way for someone to jump on board and they want to get involved with OB, they want to donate? How do they best do it?
There's really 4 things we're looking for. For certainly donations. There's a billion things more important than money, but all of them cost money, right? So that's part of it. If you want to volunteer, we certainly are always using volunteers. Corporate partners like Tebow Foundation or the Home Depot Foundation is a huge partner of ours. That's a big one. And then also staff, we're hiring people. We want more hands to do the labor. And so those are all opportunities where you can get involved with Operation Blessing. But if you want to do it, go to ob.org. Everything you need to know is on the website. ob.org. You can't miss it. And when you get to ob.org, you'll find everything you need to get involved with us.
All right, Drew. Fascinating. Thanks for being with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.